Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Design is knowing which one to keep. Basic understanding of design helps us to curate innovative product ideas. Today I'm going to talk about fundamentals of design and how it is going to help us create a better user experience. My name is Navneet. I am a UI UX designer and founder of Alchi Design Studio. We build websites and mobile applications and help our clients create an engaging digital experience. So in this session, we are going to discuss about the basic difference between UI, UX and XD and what it means in the industry, and the basic understanding of design principles, layout and compositions, color theory and the emotion behind each color, experience design and design process which is followed in the industry and where the industry is going. So what does all these buzzwords mean? UI, UX, XD. Let's take a step back. So we all know human brain has two hemispheres, like left brain and right brain, and right side of the brain handles the creative part, whereas the left side of the brain handles the logical part. So here is a quick test. I'm pretty sure in the audience, some of us see the kitten rotating in the clock side, and then some of us see it is rotating in the anti-clock side. So the theory is people who can see the kitten, this is an optical illusion image which helps you understand which side of your brain is dominant. So the people who can see the kitten rotating in the clock side have their right brain dominant, which handles the creative and artistic part of the thought process. Whereas people who can see the kitten rotating in the anti-clockwise are logically dominant, uses the left side of the brain. So user interface design is basically the creative and the artistic part of the product. The scope is at the aesthetic level. Whereas user experience design handles the logical and analytical part of your product. The scope is at the human experience level. To understand it better, the basic difference between UI and UX is user interface design handles the visual design, color, graphics design, layouts and typography of your application. It kind of deals with the feeling, visualization, imagination, holistic thinking and arts. Whereas the user experience, the UX, handles the interaction, wireframes, information architecture, user research and scenarios. It's completely logical, sequence thinking, linear thinking, handles with facts, research data, and things like that. Then what is XD? Experience design. So experience design is a holistic approach towards the entire experience of the system. So we will discuss more about experience design in a bit. So for now, the basic difference between UI and UX understanding should help us go. Design principles. So there are basic design principles. If followed, we can create an aesthetically pleasing user interface. It also helps us create a better experience for the product which we are building. So the first design principle is balance. So balance is the distribution of visual weight of objects, color, texture and space. This is the best example for a balanced user interface. If you see at the top, the branding and the call to action is distributed with a balance which gives a aesthetically pleasing experience for the human eyes. So similarly, the title, the video and the sign up form is distributed equally with a balance, which gives a very good experience and a better readability. The second principle is emphasis. Emphasis is the part of design that catches the viewer's attention. So every interface should have its own primary goal. So Google cracked it in its material design guidelines. So every screen has a primary emphasis user call to action. So emphasis also helps user understand the objective of the particular screen. It makes the user's life a lot easier because there is a prominent user call to action defined in the particular user interface. So the objective of a particular screen is set if there is a differentiated emphasis given to a UI element. The third design principle is movement. Movement is the path the viewer's eye takes through the design. So there are two main pattern of user's eye movement, right? So one is Z pattern hierarchy and the second one is F pattern hierarchy. So Z pattern is followed when the interface has a mixture of both text and images. So if you look at the first screen at the top, user tend to go from left to right and then from right to the bottom left and then again to the right. So that is the pattern which is observed if the interface has a mixture of both text and images. Whereas if you see the image at the bottom, it follows the F pattern hierarchy because it's text heavy. And the highlight which you're seeing on top of the screen is called a heat map. Basically, there are tools in the market which kind of helps to track the eye movement of the users, and the output is shown in the form of heat map. So these are the two main users eye movement pattern, which is like Z pattern and F pattern. The fourth design principle is unity and consistency. Unity is the feeling of harmony between all parts of the design, which creates a sense of completeness. It helps build the trust. So this is a style guide of a brand. Style guide is nothing but defining the look and feel of each and every UI element of a particular brand so that when it gets implemented, the consistency is maintained across the application. Consistency in design helps build trust with the users. Imagine there is a banking website which looks different in every page. We as a user wouldn't trust that brand. So uniformity is one of the important design principles which helps gain brand credibility. Repetition. Repetition of elements of design creates unity within the interface. WhatsApp contact list is a good example of repetition. It not only groups similar UI elements for uniformity, it also gives the user a clean, readable pattern. Another good example for repetition design is social media timelines. The last design principle is proportion. Proportion is the feeling of unity created when all parts relate well with each other. This is a good example for a neatly designed proportional interface. The ratio and the positioning of each UI element relate well with each other. Following all these design principles not only help us create an effective user interface, but also build a better user experience. The next important aspect of interface design is layout and composition. They are the building block of the interface design. They give the UI element a structure and make it easier to navigate. Neatly composed user interface not only looks appealing to the user, but also communicate the message properly. There are few parameters to keep in mind. First one, proximity. Objects that appear close to each other on a screen are related to each other. This layout doesn't help us understand the content and it looks pretty much scattered. Little bit of proximity to the layout makes a huge difference. The second parameter is white space. White space plays a vital role, giving the layout a breathing space. The right amount of white space between the UI elements can help highlight important content. The third parameter is alignment. It helps create sharper and more visually appealing design. Alignments are much professionally done with the help of design tools with accuracy. The next parameter is contrast. Contrast simply means that one item is different from another. In layout and composition, contrast can help you do many things, like catch the reader's eye, create emphasis, or call attention to something important. Contrast can be brought to the UI by making minimal changes. It can be done by changing the color, size of the element, or by contracting the styles of the text. Are there any secret formula for achieving great layout and composition? Yes, there is. Golden ratio. The golden ratio is a mathematical proportion between the elements of different sizes, which is thought to be the most aesthetically pleasing for human eyes. Golden ratio is of great importance in the design of interfaces, logo, and architecture. In order to create a golden rectangle, we will need to follow the Fibonacci spiral. Start by creating a 1 by 1 small square and make another equivalent 1 by 1 square and proceed forming a golden rectangle. There is no hard and fast rule about the positioning of the golden rectangle. Creating the smallest unit and choosing a position to start is completely the designer's decision. This helps us create a layout and composition which is aesthetically pleasing for the human eyes. Golden ratio is popularly used while creating brand logos. There are many popular brands like Twitter, Apple, Pepsi uses golden ratio guide to create their brand logo. The golden ratio has been used throughout history to create visually appealing designs. Da Vinci's famous art piece is drawn according to the golden ratio. Next is color theory. Every color has a meaning and a personality. That's why selecting the right color for your brand can make or break the business. Color psychology is the study of how colors affect our emotions and decision making process. Although the psychological impact of colors is subjective, it is undeniable that they influence audience reactions. This is the color emotion guide, showing emotions attached to each color band and the brands associated with it. The warm color bands like red, orange, and yellow influences strong emotions like optimism, friendly, and excitement. So if you see the brands using these colors, they want their audience to influence with these emotions while approaching their brand. For example, brands like Coke, Kellogg's, KFC, McD, which comes under this color range, wants their audience to feel excited, warm, and cheerful while approaching them. On the other hand, most of the banking sector, medical products, healthcare, social media like Facebook and Twitter wants to project trustworthiness, dependable emotions towards their users. So they come under this blue-green color range. The next one is experience design. Experience design is often confused with user experience design. So what's the difference between UX and XD? User experience, as we discussed earlier, focuses on enhancing user satisfaction with a product by improving the usability, accessibility, and pleasure provided in the interaction with the product. Whereas XD, experience design, follows a broader mandate. It focuses on moments of engagement or touch points between people and brands. The ideas, emotions, and memories that these moments create. So, which brand has the best experience design? There are many brands like Apple, Nike, which taps the moments of engagement between people and the brand. You know who is my favorite brand? Yes, it's Rajinikanth. Apart from the fact that he is a larger than life on screen superstar, we can't deny the fact that Rajiniism is a brand by itself. It focuses on moments of engagement or touch points between people and the brand and engages the audience and leaves back strong ideas, emotions, and memories that these moments create. So, is there a formula for XD like golden ratio for layouts? Yes, there is. So basically, it's the pattern in which the brand story is told. So the pattern is boom, wow, 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 boom, right? So what can Rajnikant, the brand, teach us about experience design and about narrating an impactful story structure? If you think about it, a Rajnikant movie story structure follows this pattern to engage the audience. There is this wow factor of an impressive stunt sequence at the beginning of the movie, and we go through 3 to 4 episodic encounters, each slightly more thrilling than the last, and a final climax sequence with a big boom before we see a final shutdown. So, interestingly, all stand up comics use this structure. The comic saves the best joke for the end of the show. So, when you're designing experience for brands, make a massive effort for a powerful, attention grabbing start. Arrange the carefully selected high points in ascending order of power to build interest. And then make sure the final high point tops even your massive opening with a big boom. Next, I would like to talk about the design process, which is there in the industry for testing out product ideas and the appropriate design for them. Wireframe. A wireframe is a low fidelity blueprint of the interface which represents the skeletal framework of the product. Usually it's done during the initial ideation phase where creating more design options to test the feasibility of the product. It's feasible and it involves almost zero cost. Generally it's done with paper and pencil. There are some tools as well available in the market like Balsamic, Glyphy, etc. So this is how a wireframe looks. So rapid wireframing helps to test the product idea, incurring minimal cost. So using tools, you can still create a low fidelity wireframe so that it can be sent across to clients without much explaining notes. Mockup. Mockup is a visual way of representing a product, while a wireframe mostly represents the product structure. Mockup is an exact lookalike of the product. It's not functional or clickable, but it's a high fidelity interface design which represents the exact lookalike of the user interface. Prototype. Prototype is often a high fidelity representation of the final product, which is meant to simulate the user interactions. Prototype is very much like the final product, but it's not the actual product itself. It can mimic the final product with interactions and the look and feel. User testing. User testing is done to test the product idea as well as the UX design of the product. User testing is done with targeted user group to see the initial reaction of the product and help collect valuable feedback to fine tune or redo the UX. User testing can be done at the very initial stage with the wireframes or even with the prototype with a little sophisticated infrastructure. Where the industry is going. Few years back, responsive web design was the buzzword, where now it has become a norm. Responsive web design is a cost-effective, scalable way of building interface which is compatible across devices. Then came the wearables, which made the device screen even smaller and increased the challenges for the designers to craft experiences for them. New design trends did emerge due to the limitation of real estate, and the community was wondering what next. Definitely not a smaller skin than this, but this happened. Right now, the community is actively exploring the AR VR space where the possibilities are endless. So, right now, the design community is actively contributing to all the computing form factors.
Hello all, I am Vishnu, a graduate engineer from KCT. I've done a lot of projects based on web development, which involves a lot of UI UX tasks. Developing a wireframe is the first step to build an application because without a wireframe, you don't know what the final outcomes will be. Wireframes are designed based on user research and it's used to validate the application flow and steps needed to complete the desired task. Now let's take a look at the wireframe which we designed for a smart parking lot. In many places, people have difficulty in identifying a space in parking lots, and they spend a lot of time navigating between different parking lots to park their cars. To ease this process, we help people find parking lots near to their destination to book them for a desired period of time. The payments are processed through online payments. In this app, users are able to log into their accounts and book parking lots. First step is to talk to people who would actually use the app. By talking to more number of people, we can better understand what tasks they need to complete and how we can meet their needs. Based on our research, we identify the key tasks to complete and what would be the best way to help users achieve it as a series of specific tasks. This is represented as pages with a set of actions. Pargo. Parking on the go. Pargo is our concept for smart parking management and booking system for a city. We will look into end user's use case and the app he or she will be using. The end user for this concept can be anyone from different walks of life. Considering this app, it is designed as a series of steps. Step 1. This will be a login screen with the user's own credentials. The user enters his username, password, and then logs into the app. If he doesn't have an account, he has to register to log into the app. This ensures the user can be billed and transactions can be achieved. Step 2. Once the user successfully logged in, the home page of this app is shown. The home page contains available parking areas in the city. The nearest parking spaces are highlighted based on user's location. Before that, the user has to select the type of vehicle which he is using. It might be a car, a bike, or even a truck. And he can even search for areas where he is going to park. Step 3. Choosing a space. After choosing the desired parking space, the user can see all the available slots in the particular parking lot. Step 4. By clicking on the desired parking lot, the user can see more information before booking it. Step 5. Booking. To book a slot, we need certain mandatory information, namely user info, time duration, entry time, and the vehicle number for billing. The user info and the vehicle is taken from the register info from the login profile. Entry time is automatically chosen based on the booking time. User only needs to enter the minimum duration the slot is going to be reserved for and click the book button. Step 6. Payment. Once the desired slot is chosen and the mandatory information is filled out, the app navigates to payment page. Here, we have included the most popular payment options used. The user can choose his convenient option and click the pay button to pay. This app automatically processes the payment through authorized gateways. When the user navigates to My Booking section, he can find all the list of his current and the previous booking made through the app. When he selects a particular booking, he can see a detailed overview of the booking made. This includes the place, the duration, in time, and the amount he paid for the booking. In case he doesn't like the booking, he can cancel the active booking by clicking on the cancel button. Step 7. Navigation drawer. This shows various pages available to user to navigate the app. This includes booking a parking space, my bookings, rent out your space, help, and promo codes. By clicking on help and information, he can get more information about the app. The help section. This contains the app version, the frequently asked questions, customer support, and he can also contact the space owner. With this, we come to the end of the session. Hopefully you have learned something about UI UX design. Hope this helps. Thank you.